Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another dual episode of Networking and Marketing Made Simple and Entrepreneur Rescue Mission. I am here with my beautiful co-host, wife, and business partner, Nancy.
Hello, hello.
And what we're going to be talking about today is the importance of building your personal brand. And we've talked about this before, but we wanted to really hone in. If you're listening to this and you're currently or had a network marketing background like myself, a consultant, coach, CEO, agents, whether you're in financial services or insurance. But also, we just wanted to let everybody know that starting September 25th through the 29th, we are doing a 5-day workshop called the Personal Branding Blueprint. All are invited. There's going to be a link to sign up for the workshop in the description of this episode. And we're going to be getting back to the basics in the sense of we don't want people confused, overwhelmed, or not clear on what they need to do. We are going to break it down over those 5 days, how simple it is to build your personal brand online. And we're going to touch on some of that today. But if you're really struggling with having yourself stand out on social media and really people understanding who you are and what it is that you do and who you serve and how you serve them, and you really want to hone in on that personal brand, then this workshop will absolutely clarify and help you with all of those questions. So let's dive in. So Nance, let's first talk about, before we go into like all the examples that we have, what is because the big question that people have is, what's a personal brand? So, because again, there's people that are building a personal brand as an individual or an influencer, but people don't understand that sometimes you're building the personal brand of your business and company if you're the face of it. So if someone was to ask you, Nancy, how do you describe what a personal brand is? How would you answer that question?
Yeah, I think the simplest way to put it is your reputation, right? You know, when people visit your social media or visit you online or search for you, right? What are people doing nowadays? You know, before they hire you, especially if you're in any of those businesses, like you mentioned, they're going to look you up. So a personal brand is really honing in and owning, you know, what it is that you're putting out there, right? It's building and taking charge of your reputation online. So the types of content that you're posting, guys, this could be anything, right? It could be stuff that you're sharing about you personally. It could be experiences that you're putting on there. It could be, you know, related to whatever your business is. Your personal brand is not just this stuffy or fake and fluffy, you know, perfect image of you. It's you. Okay. So personal branding is something that I'm so incredibly passionate about. And sort of, in fact, so incredibly passionate that I wrote the book on it. You know, this past year, I released my first book, which is How to Build Your Personal Brand on Social Media, because I think so many people struggle with what that actually looks like and understanding how it can really help grow not just your current business or position that you're in. It can really help you set yourself up for success and really create almost like an insurance policy for all the future things that you're planning on doing later in life. So that's kind of how I break it down. And, you know, like Scott said, right, you know, and kind of rewinding to where Scott was, you know, years ago, he had a completely different business and he was putting himself out there in a very different way. Right. And so I want to kind of showcase some of those stories and I want to walk through with you guys some of the importance and the important things to think about when you are putting yourself out there online. So I think we should start with, okay, for people who out there who are, let's say, network marketers. Okay, because we work with a lot of network marketers. Scott has a history in network marketing. I think we both agree, right? Network marketing is a great way to kind of dip your toes in the world of entrepreneurship, right? It's, you know, getting that sales experience, you know, being able to learn how to manage teams, things like that. But the thing is when you run a network marketing business, that business is not yours. Right? We have seen people, in fact, friends that have actually worked really hard over the years and build and grown huge, massive businesses, okay, with these network marketing companies, and then lost it all because that network marketing company changed either their payout, they changed their structure, they sold their company, or they went under. So the thing is you're not in control of anything, okay, in a network marketing business. And as much as we support, right, the development, some of the wonderful things that come from it, I think it's very important to be very honest and upfront and real about how you really want to take control of your personal brand and how you want to grow your business in the right way, so that if something like this happens, the rug is not swept out from underneath of you, right? You haven't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. So an example of that, and again, I mentioned it kind of like an insurance policy. I just want you to imagine this. And I did put this example in my book as well. So imagine you're a network marketing leader. And for those of you listening who don't know what network marketing is, it's people who sign up to sell products, services, in some cases, actually for bigger companies, right? So you're essentially doing kind of a sales manager role, right?
You're a sales rep.
Yeah, you're earning, commission for some of the sales, and then obviously you're building and growing a team under you. So let's say you're going and you're rocking and rolling, and you're building that business. Well, let's say you decide, you know what? I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I want to actually build my personal brand. And I want to come up with a really strong vision and mission for what I want to help people with. So let's say, as someone who's really, really passionate about the health and wellness space, you decide to also, right, build the brand of helping others, maybe with nutritional planning or, something else that you're very skilled in. That's awesome, right? So while you're building this business and simultaneously you can continue, right, in your network marketing opportunity, you're growing your email list, you're building out your business, you're growing your services, you're increasing your audience, you're putting yourself out in as you, right, as the brand, not the products, on the forefront. So of course you're attracting people who are relating to you. You're putting stuff out there that's giving people value, but it's not all about the company. Okay. In fact, years ago, I helped someone build out their website, and they wanted to build a website that incorporated their passion and their skills and their ability to help people in a few different types of ways. We were able to do that under one giant umbrella, and they were able to, right, continue down this path and really, again, have their love of network marketing and have that be as part of their income. But also here on the other side, they were working with people one-on-one. They had created a course. They had also put together some different services and programs that people were loving. So the thing is providing that and growing your personal brand in that way, it takes all the stress and pressure and the fear that might come with putting all your eggs in one basket and sticking with that network marketing company, which again, it's not your company. It's not your business. In fact, Scott and I, years ago, we read through some of the terms and conditions and some of the agreements that people sign. Do you know that most of these companies, if they just decide we're done, or we don't want to pay you anymore, or, in Scott's case, he even had a scenario where someone had just made an assumption and they paused all the monetary income until they did a little research, and then they continued it, which is horrifying. So yes, there are good things about it, but on the other side of it, we just really want to support and share with you the importance of building your personal brand, so that you don't put your eggs all in one basket, so that you do build your business in the right way, that you have your own marketing assets, that you have your own products, you have your own things to fall back on, right? You've got a contingency plan, you've got an insurance policy for all the wonderfulness that you're building.
So I also want to, there's so much that I want to say about this. Well, number one, so the reason why network marketing gets a bad rap is not because it doesn't work. For some people, it does. For most people, it doesn't. And that's me just being raw and real. 99, you can look up any stat, 99% of the people that end up doing network marketing never succeed. It's only a very, very small amount of people that do. But where people need to understand the blurred lines, this notion of, if you're plan A, right, you need to have a plan B, meaning you're working a 9 to 5. So you get kind of pulled into this opportunity for network marketing. And then all of a sudden your plan B starts producing out producing your plan A. So you quote unquote fire your boss. And I hate that notion. I think it's so stupid and childish. No one's firing their boss. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and so is Nancy. Why would you cut off a full-time income that is still not pulling you away from anything, and you're making this money on the side? So now you have two incomes coming in, and you're going to cut yourself off to quote unquote go all in, right? You're going all in on an opportunity of building someone else's company. That's what it is. When you're network marketing, you're not building your business. You're building someone else's business. You're a sales manager. But here's the thing. So many people get kind of sucked into this where they get rid of their plan A, their plan B, which is network marketing, becomes their plan A. And guess what? They have no plan B anymore. And to Nancy's point, we know many people that, and here's the thing, there's nothing you can do about a network marketing company if it succeeds or fails. If a company that you're partnered with is going backwards, right? They're losing revenue. They're not doing well financially. It's the trickle down effect. It's going to affect you, and you can't control any of that. And that's why we really want people to understand building something of your own outside of it is so important. The example that Nancy gave, it was a friend of mine who was making about $35,000 a month in her network marketing opportunity, and the company changed their compensation plan, didn't ask the associates, hey, is it okay if we do this? Because they don't care. No matter what they're going to do what's best for them as a company. You are a independent contractor that is selling their product. That's why they don't need to be in supermarkets and GNCs and all those other stores, because you are selling the product for them. If they want to change the compensation plan, they're going to. And she went from making about $35,000 a month to about $2,000 a month in the matter of about 3 or 4 months. Luckily, she was building her personal brand on the outside. She had a podcast, she had courses, she had retreats, she had workshops, she had in-person events. And she said, okay, if this is going to be taken away from me, I am going to lean fully into this. So she did a brilliant job and it was kind of like one of those unconscious things. I don't think she ever thought that was going to go away, but it did. And there's companies that falter and fail all the time. You can't control any of that. You think it's a legacy company. You think it's going to be there forever. You don't know. There's no predictability if you're not running it. I'll use another example. Shailene Johnson, which all of you probably are familiar with. People may not know this, but she got her start in Beachbody. She was actually a part of the Beachbody network marketing company. I'm not sure if she necessarily built, but she was one of their head trainers. She worked on the corporate side of things. The brilliant thing that Shailene did all throughout the process of her working in the network marketing profession, she built her personal brand. So when she left or stopped really doing stuff for Beachbody, she fell right into her own personal brand and has a multiple 7-figure business now. Chris and Lori Harder, who are big inspirations to myself and Nancy, we've worked with them both. Amazing network marketers. They killed it. They were building their personal brands on the outside the entire time. And obviously they're crushing it with their personal brands. And unknowingly, I was building my own personal brand as I was building my network marketing business. And when someone tried to put baby in the corner, when someone tried to put me in the corner, it was and this is the thing. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I've only owned my own businesses. That was the first time that I felt like an employee. It was the first time I felt like I am not in control of this. I can work my butt off. Another person that Nancy and I know, we were on each other's podcasts. She was a high income earner in a network marketing company. Literally went into debt.
She went into bankruptcy, didn't she?
Had to file for bankruptcy. And then luckily she was building her personal brand outside of that. And she's a 7-figure a year business owner, killing it, crushing it. The whole point of this is we want you to understand, this is the honest to God truth. If the only monetary asset you have is attached to a network marketing company and that is it, you are treading in dangerous waters. You are. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen in 5 years. but you can't control anything, because here's the thing. The only thing you can control is what you do. And the whole notion of like, oh, it's residual income. No, residual income is something that you do once and it pays you for life, like writing a book. So Nancy and I have written books. We have residuals from that because we don't have to write it every day. People buy it every day. This is leveraged income. You're leveraging the efforts of people underneath you. Now, why we call it a sales manager position is because you end up leading a sales team. You're managing them just like an employee, just like a manager of a bunch of employees. So you can't control what these people do. They can quit whenever they want to quit. They can go all in when they want to go all in. And you hear the same story. I can't find people like me. What if you don't have to find people like you? You're enough. And that's why Nancy and I have worked with countless network marketers now that have saw the bigger picture and said, you know what? I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing for a network marketing opportunity, but I'm going to go all in on me. I have credibility now where I can build a course. I can launch a podcast. I can write a book. I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and 9 times out of 10, those people say this feels so much better. Like it feels so much more in alignment with me. This feels so much more like it makes so much more sense and so much better.
And do you know why the whole pyramid scheme thing came about? Is because network marketing companies started to get in trouble for teaching recruiting tactics, because the FTC was basically saying you can't do that. So whenever you go to these events, they're not even teaching you real business tactics. They're not teaching you how to register your business as an LLC or an S Corp. They're not talking about quarterly tax payments. They're not talking about what's a business expense and what is not. What can you write off and what can't you? You go to all these events and it's just pushing products.
Well, I think, something, and you know what, just because we're on this topic, and you know what, this can apply just for anyone listening. It could be any position, right? And again, we're talking about like personal branding because whether it's your job that you're in right now, right? Because some people still have a full-time career or whatever it is, you might not have that job or want that job, a year or two later. So it's still important that you're building, right? That personal brand, you're writing down and you're making note and you're communicating, all the services and the wonderfulness and the skills, and, you're showing up authentically. But just going back to what Scott was saying, and again, like hanging close to this topic, because I know it's a very sensitive one. I remember years ago when Scott it became a bigger thing, his business became bigger, as his own personal brand and his coaching and consulting. And I remember how passionate Scott was, because he's like, I want to help people actually make money. Like he was so frustrated because even in network marketing, he had grown a pretty successful business, but he saw how hard it was. And the only way to do it was to grow a team, and no one was teaching it. And finally, after years, we uncovered, well, this is why people aren't teaching it. It's because it's illegal, right? It's illegal to teach, how to grow a team, because you should be able to make money just by selling the products, right? So it's this awful, cyclical thing that keeps coming back around. But again, we have really, kind of been to be behind the scenes a lot about it. And I think now we're starting to talk about it a little bit more and more, because we've seen more people affected by it. We've seen more companies actually fall into lawsuits. We've seen companies go through bankruptcy. We've seen people who are still hanging their hat and saying, yes, I'm staying true with this network marketing company, when in reality, they could care less. Guys, if you decided you were like, you know what, this is an amazing community, but I don't think I'm really going to like go really all in on this business anymore, they would drop you like a hot potato. Okay. All they care about is the company growing
and their sales numbers. They just
their
want
sales numbers.
If people aren't getting the products sold, the companies go under. And that's why you need to sell all the products. And it's exactly why they don't actually teach team building, because that is considered recruiting, which gets people in trouble.
Well, isn't that so icky though? The way that you actually build the business is something they can't teach, because that's it's frowned upon, So again, we don't want to like go too far into this. And, again, we want to keep this positive. If you guys find yourself right in a position like that, where you're like, man, I really don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, and I'm not really sure what it looks like to build my personal brand. Well, that's exactly why, right? And that's actually why this workshop has been so successful. People have loved it. In fact, it's usually we charge $49, for the 5-day workshop. This time we're going to just open the doors. We really want to help support and really get this message out there so that you guys can start building your personal brands in the right way. So you can start creating and putting yourselves out there in a way where it's not limiting you. It's not pigeonholing you in a position where it's just this one thing. And if this one thing crashes down, or if this job doesn't work out, or if this business, situation, it's okay, right? We're building your own thing outside of that.
Yeah, I'm going to give one last example. Nancy knows who this person is, Susan Sly, who was one of my first mentors, a very successful network marketer, but was building her personal brand all along. And now she's the co-CEO of a large tech firm, and just got nominated for an award, killing it. And this is the bigger message. Going back to something that I said before, all of us are meant for more. If you feel like you're playing small, then you most likely are. And we want people to stretch themselves and not work themselves to the bone. And I think this was the other thing that I realized, Nancy, I talked about this with you, is that there was no turning off my network marketing business. It was like all day, every day, 7 days a week, hours and hours and hours. And then Nancy and I sat down one day and we actually broke down my hourly rate of what I was actually making per week. And it was about minimum wage. And that's when I'm like, wow. But the other thing is, I was only getting a percentage. I was making a small percentage of the sales, where when you own your own business and you're selling your own products, your own courses, your own programs, guess what? That's 100% profit. That feels a lot better because now there's no restrictions, right? You don't have to tiptoe around what you can and can't post because it's your business. So whether you're a coach, a consultant, whatever you're doing, real estate, insurance, financial services, network marketing, everybody is meant for more. And again, if you feel like you could be doing more, you want more, not just time freedom, you just want more flexibility and scalability and really creating the life that you want and the time that you do and don't want to work. This is why Nancy and I dedicated an entire episode of how we've built a company where we only work 3 days a week. And could we work 5 days a week if we wanted to? Sure, but we don't want to, and we don't have to anymore. That's what we want for everyone. We want people to understand is that if you're spending more time working than you are living, you have it backwards. Nancy and I have been on this mission, not just to scale our business, but to spend as much time with each other, our friends, and our family as often as we can.
I also want to ask you this. Is the business you're building a business that you could truly grow and eventually sell down the road? Is this a business that's truly going to be a business that's going to bring you consistent income, that's going to actually give you financial freedom?
So again, we could talk about this for another 16 hours if we wanted to. The big message is, in all honesty, is that you're meant for more. And understanding how to build your personal brand alongside of whatever you're doing, you shouldn't just have a plan B. You should have a plan C, a plan D, a plan E. Nancy and I, we have 6 different offerings, and that's where we're stopping. Nancy has her own thing that she runs, something that I run. But again, we have offerings. We have multiple channels. We have but it's under the umbrella of our personal brands and our business brands.
We have multiple businesses. Yeah.
So we want people to understand the importance of building your personal brand, and what you choose to do with that personal brand is completely up to you. But we want to drive home the point. It is so beyond important to learn how to do so. And that's exactly why we're doing this workshop at the end of the month. Again, it's September 25th to September 29th, live and recorded, 1 to 2 p.m. EDT. There's prizes, giveaways, and the replays are available until Monday at 9 p.m. October 2nd. So you have plenty of time to binge. And again, if you feel like you've been meant for more, you just don't know what you need to do in order to how to get there, let us help you do it. So everyone, love and gratitude. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, Please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.